Let's have a candid conversation. It's all about me and you. Let's have a candid conversation. No topic is taboo.
Let's have a candid conversation. Talk about the issues that you're facing and the dreams that you're chasing. Dr. Rich got the tools to help you make it. We can talk about it. Let's have a candid conversation.
Let's have a candid conversation. It's all about me and you. Let's have a candid conversation. No topic is taboo.
Now, Pastor, you got condition on your love for me? Or you gonna just let me do what I want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna do what's called a main.
Let's have a candid conversation. No topic is taboo. When I talk to you, oh, it's all about me and you. Let's have a candid conversation. No topic is taboo.
Welcome to Candid Conversations with me, the real Dr. Rich. Happy Sunday, Sunday. Shalom Alaikum to each of you. I pray that your Sunday has been blessed by Yahweh. Yeah, I call him Yahweh. His title is God. Don't be offended if you are. Hey, you may want to be the Candid Conversations show. No, I'm just teasing. We have Pastor R. What's up, Pastor R? What it do?
Shalom.
Thank you so much. What's up? Thank you for tuning in to the Candid Conversations show. This is not just a locker room banter, but it's those topics that are taboo in our families, in our communities, and in our ministries. Listen, some of these topics we don't even discuss with our families. We don't discuss them with our families or our closest of friends. They're just too taboo. But guess what? Dr. Rich is speaking candidly, no pun intended, and actually very authentically about every topic that I bring to you, my viewing audience. So listen, it's the 24th of April, and we're wrapping up April. April is about to end. And listen, many of you may not know, but April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. I have been training the entire month, either speaking to various audiences, YSOs, NPOs, churches, local ministries, even businesses that work with youth. Listen, or if you have your own children, either I've been doing those or I've actually been in training myself, trying to become more abreast of the innovations pertaining to child abuse prevention. And listen, make no mistakes about it. Child abuse does not just entail sexual abuse. I know that that's my main platform. But when we speak of April and National Child Abuse Prevention Month, we're speaking of various types of abuses of children. It could be psychological, emotional abuse. You may hear those terms interchangeably. It could be sexual abuse. It could be neglect or even physical abuse. Listen, there's a myriad of abuses that children endure, and it is up to us, the village. What has happened to the village? It is up to us to prevent these forms of abuses. Yes, it's your responsibility as well as Dr. Rich's responsibility. And as I have coined the phrase, not on my watch. Abuse won't happen on my watch. Now, what I mean by that is, if a child is in my care, whether it be mine or someone else's, they will not experience or endure physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse. Pastor, you've joined me throughout this month in discussing the, abuses of children.
Right.
Sunday, so I didn't say that day. But
Right.
thank you for that note. But I know what I'm saying.
Right.
But anyway, you've shared, and I'm thankful for your presence in the spaces that I've been in. I thank you because
Right.
you're grinding. Every day you grind.
Right.
On Sunday you grind. Monday you grind. Tuesday you grind. But you have
What
found
ministry is about.
that's what ministry is about. And
Yeah.
so for your paid profession, because as a pastor, that has not been a paid position for you, but you have taken time to come alongside me and to bring awareness to abuse. And you've shared your testimony in these spaces. So I appreciate you for that. I really thank you for that. But let's dig in tonight. I just wanted to do that disclaimer and bring awareness because that is one of my platforms. So Pastor Art, tonight, guess what we're discussing? It's a great candid conversation. So today, I mean, they may be watching this in the evening time. It just depends because I found that I have followers everywhere. I have
those who may
followers,
be watching it and recording whatever time of it
right?
is.
Or even listen, because I said good morning. Hopefully your Sunday was great because I have followers from as far away as Australia.
Yeah.
I have, and there some of them are in Eastern time zone. So just wherever you may be, whatever time it is, just I'm thankful for you to be here. But listen, this is the topic for the day. I want to talk about you have his babies, but I have his last name. Listen, that's a candid conversation for you right there.
Mm.
You have his babies, but I have his last name.
You're trying to rub somebody the wrong way.
Well, that's what we do. That's what Dr. Rich, I stir the pot. Listen, I may be an ish starter here in these spaces right now on Candid Conversations, but I really want us to be able to discuss this. Let's bring it into, let's talk about these. Let's have the conversation. Can we have the conversation? Listen, I'm seeing people who want to be married. They said that they want to be married. I know that you say people don't want to be married, but for the most part, it's
hard work.
It is hard work. And I don't know, the people that I'm seeing, they say that they want to be married. But I wanted to say that there are people out here, these people who are wanting to be married, just be forewarned that blended families are difficult. They're challenging, but you can do it. I'm seeing, though, that there are women out here who are being very messy, very petty, very immature, very malicious, and so I can say this as a woman, a professional woman, and more importantly, as a woman of faith. Listen, I if I rub you the wrong way, so be it. But I'm going to say this, yeah, you may have his children, but I have his last name. And see, I think that even if you don't buy into my stand or my mantra, meaning, if you don't feel that way, you have his children, but I have his last name. I take solace in the fact that, I'm going to love these children. I can do that because I'm comfortable with who I am in him. If it were not for him, though, and his healing power, I don't think that I could do that. We discussed this before in a different way on Candid Conversations. I just wanted to say to you, though, some people will say it's impossible to do that. And sometimes bitter baby mamas, that's probably what I should have called this. Bitter baby mamas will try to attack, intimidate, and, maliciously, malign the wife. There's a lot of bitterness and frustration. I've seen it in my own family, where, we may have a child, and I don't want to speak with names. I could do it. And there would be no libel. There would be no defamation because I've seen it where a woman believes that because she's carried and birthed a man's child, that gives her rights to this man. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't believe just because you have his child or his children that automatically makes you his mate. To be honest, in my years of learning, what I do believe, especially if you have that type of mindset, that type of mentality, you probably are the woman who should have gotten his last name first. Because if you're a woman who cannot let go of a man, and listen, my husband says I'm trying to tick some people off, piss some people off. And if you're pissed off, I'll say this to you. Maybe you need to go check your heart. Maybe you need to go check to see why it is that you're so bitter. Because this man, if you didn't think enough about getting yourself secured with him in your relationship prior to having his child or his children, then, that's on you. I've heard women say, well, I didn't know he was like this. I didn't know he was a dog, or I didn't know he was around his single lover. You knew. Even if it's, let me say this, if you have more than one child with him, you knew. You can talk and I will let you talk, and I will be the type of woman who will say, okay, because I'm not going to argue with you, because at some point I know that it was known to you during these months or years of relationship. At some point you knew that he wasn't committed to you. Number one, I don't know why we have these false expectations of people who have not committed to us. We think that sex equals commitment, and it does not. We believe, and I'm speaking of women, and because I'm a woman, I will say this has never been my action or my mindset, subconsciously or consciously. This has not been my mindset, but because we have children with a man does not equal commitment. Are you going to say anything? I don't want to ask you if you want to say something, just jump in, because I want to say this to you before we go to a commercial break.
Well, at the time, I think the woman and the man be under that impression that they are committed to one another. And when babies come forward, that changed the dynamics of the relationship. But they never move into that direction where it should become more serious than what it is. When children are born into a relationship, that relationship should turn from a sexual relationship to some nuptials. They should get married. But a lot of women and a lot of men give themselves false ideas. They sell themselves false dreams, and like you just said, they start having these unrealistic expectations of the future. But as they continue to learn about one another, and they continue to date one another and shack together, they build up this false hope and believe that
right.
He's going to be her husband. And then when the kids come about, it should go in a different direction. But sometimes they what they call break up or separate. But sometimes both people are already doing some things, inside of that relationship anyway. So you just have to be careful and just don't buy into a lot of it. But that lady may have his last name and she have the children, but that hurt and that spirit of being scorned is still there. That woman is sometimes they can be very, very vindictive, and jealousy is a possibility too.
Pastor,
because
are you
they
getting,
don't have that man.
Are you getting? See, I think you're tying to. See, you got to understand what I'm saying. I'm saying the baby mama. That's a term that people don't like, but that's what it is. The baby mama is being very antagonistic, being very mean-spirited. So what I'm saying is, I do subscribe to this. Listen, this is what I'm saying. The wife. This is to the wives, because I have spoken with wives who have fought. Listen, I'm telling you, I have spoken to wives years ago and even presently, in present day, who have said they have fought with baby mamas. Listen to me well. Listen to me. That don't make any sense. It doesn't. So that's why I'm saying, can we at least as wives? Now that was never me, and so this is what I'm saying, because I think you're unclear about. Sure. So I'm trying to get you to understand where I'm coming from. Not to agree with me, just let me make sure you understand what I'm saying. I am asking wives if they can mature and say, yeah, you do have his children. Can we keep it cordial? You have his last name. See, that's the way I feel. Right, but I was speaking from the baby's mama perspective. I was speaking on her behalf, not the wives. Since you was talking about the wives, I was talking about the baby mamas, because the baby mamas, sometimes they live in bitterness. That's what I said. Bitter baby mamas. I said that's what I should call this. And sometimes they never get over it. Exactly. So this is my point. This is for them as well. I have a piece of wisdom, not advice. The world gives advice. I'm offering wisdom.
They're spiritual minded, because if they're carnal minded, I don't care what we tell them, they're not going to receive it.
Exactly. But I'm here. This is Candid Conversations. Yeah. So if you're getting mad and this ruffles your feathers, so what? My point is, nobody forced you. Nobody forced you to lie down with that man and put your legs in the V. Nobody forced you to do that. You chose it. And I'm gonna tell you something. One young woman we counseled a few years ago, you told her, you said, I told you, young lady, that this probably wasn't. You were very delicate and gentle with her. I'm kind of paraphrasing what you said. She said, well, we're not together. And I thought, his other baby mama, she got a child with him and she jumped on me. And it was several girls who jumped on her. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And you told her, you said, well, when did you figure out? After the second baby or the third one, that y'all wasn't compatible? Right. You asked her that. And it's not only that you hold women accountable, because you love to try to help women to understand how men who are playing games or just out for sex, you try to help them, but you also challenge men. There was a young man that you ministered to for years. You told him, you said, how many kids you got with a son? Young Doc, I think you called a sir. You called him sir. You said, sir, young sir. How many children? And he told you 5 or 6. You said, so young sir, are you going to marry this woman? You said, because you continue to be intimate with her. You want to continue to bed her. Why won't you give her your last name? You challenge young men. Yeah. And then there was another young man, a different one. And he wanted a child so bad. He wanted one so bad. You said, young man, because this young man is only a few years younger than you are. You said, well, why don't you think about getting married? Because I'm telling you right now, Doc, a woman taking your money and the child being in a separate home from you, he wouldn't listen to you. He was, adamant that he was going to have a child with a woman. And then after he impregnated this woman and she brought his seed forth, all hell broke loose. Remember that? Right. See, we're not new to this. I want you to know, from Candid Conversations, Dr. Rich, we're not new to this. We're true to it. We are ordained ministers. We continue to pastor those whom Yahweh has called to us. Yes, that's what we do. But we also have other things that we do, just like right here. I'm going to talk during Candid Conversations about these real life issues, these topics that are seemingly dysfunctional or what have you, because it is very dysfunctional, in my opinion, for a woman to continue to put expectations on a man when clearly he has demonstrated with his actions that he is not serious about you. And you can talk about what all he does and he's saying to you, and Pastor R, you've told me, well, he's probably so, because it's not just
that's
one
the impression that he gives her, and that's the impression that they give one another.
Right.
And it's not like Dr. Rich and I not being sympathetic, toward the situation, or empathetic toward the situation. The fact is, if you continue to be in a stuck place or stale place, that's where you're going to be. So you have to address the issues with rigor. You have to really get in there and handle this situation. And a lot of women are going to have to woman up. They're going to have to pull themselves up out of their bootstraps and understand the fact that he don't want you. And there's a possibility that he may not marry you. But if you have kids with him, don't attack his wife, because it's not his wife's fault that he wanted to marry her. He presented the proposal to her, and she felt that he was the type of man that she wanted to be with and wanted to share her life with, and she accepted his proposal. Now you need to figure out what it is about yourself and what it is about that hurt and what it is about this man, and find you some help. Get you a therapist, someone who can give you wisdom, or who can give you the tools you need to become, friends with this woman, to become, some kind of to be some kind of parent along with him, with the children, because you all have to be co-parents. You have to become a team, and you're gonna have to realize that whatever dysfunction that the mother has on the other side, the children are gonna pick up the same dysfunction.
And that's what I want to talk about before we go to commercial break. I wanted to say this. See, that's my point. Pastor R hit it on the head. Why are you so angry at this woman? See, let me tell you something. Sometimes that bitterness is going to come because you had a hidden agenda. You allowed sex and the intimacy and whatever else you all were doing in the bedroom to control. And then sometimes I think women can get manipulative too.
You have to grow out of that bedroom stuff. You got to grow out of it, because I understand people are promiscuous when you're young, but when you get older, you got to come out of it, because that's dangerous.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say, because even on some of their best sitcoms, I remember reading a post someone shared, and they were talking about one of the TV shows that's on one of the networks, and they were saying this team, I don't want to call the name because I'm not here to promote that particular show, but I want to tell you there are women in real life like that will wonder, well, why did he spend 3 years with me and didn't give me his last name? Why didn't he marry me, but he can marry her? Let me tell you something.
So she didn't draw the line. She didn't.
Exactly.
She didn't have any boundaries.
Exactly. And if you
got to have boundaries in friendship.
And you told me, Pastor R, you said a man knows the type of woman he wants to marry. Mm-hmm. You said, and until he does,
after a year, you may not be the one.
And then you tell me this, you said he knows what he's looking for, what kind of qualities, what traits, what attributes he's looking for in a woman.
And he also is going to he's also going to do what she allowed him to do. And as long as you allow him to come to your bedchamber and to lie with you, he's going to do it.
And procreate.
If you ever confront him about it, he's never going to, be accountable, because he's just that, irresponsible. Because when men or boys and hadn't really grown up to become men, or hadn't sat at the feet of the elders, or hadn't been, passed down the history, to them.
Well, I can say that some men have been taught differently. Some men, and let me tell you, it's like Samson and Delilah to me sometimes. I mean, Samson wanted that Philistine woman. So I can't say that all of the men because women, it's only what we allow men to do. When I became 23, I made up in my mind, I didn't just want to be somebody's girlfriend. You understand what I'm saying, Pastor R?
Yeah.
I no longer want to, and this is my testimony. I don't care who doesn't like it, who disagrees, or who disbelieves. I'm telling you my testimony. And I walked a celibate lifestyle. So until I met you.
I don't think a lot of women understand that today.
Well, my point is, though, I'm tired of women blaming men because of the choices that they make. Just like, you want to put all of this blame on this man. He's broken me. He's hurt me. Why? There was already some hurt there for you to even allow this to go on.
Right.
Let's be accountable on both ends. I don't sit up and bad talk and badger men who promised to marry me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
One guy told me he wanted to marry me at 18, 19. But I already knew my dad disapproved of it. You understand? And then there was another serious relationship that I had, and I knew he wasn't right. He was like 5 or 6 years older than I was. But you have never heard me bash or say they put me in these situations. There was choices that I made to stay. Right. And one of the relationships, I was abused from the age of 16 until 19. He fought me on a regular basis. So yes, women, I'm going to tell you, and you're not going to like it for those of you, like as my husband, Pastor R, said, if you're not mature spiritually, you're not going to receive this. But where's your accountability? Where is yours? And a lot of times I think women do things just to be malicious.
You got to put them on a walker, baby, and give them a little milk, because right now they can't stand the meat, because a lot of these women.
Well, I've given them milk. They're not confident enough. Let me say this. Well, that's not that man's problem. See, I'm not going to hold. We just had a discussion about another young lady we counseled, and I told you so. Well, Sugar, because he does call me Sugar without the R. Yes, I'm Sugar. I'm that every day unless I rub him the wrong way. And then it's back to my government name.
We mislead a lot of ladies, and we trick them. And
when he says we, he's talking about men. So, but this is the thing. You told me that. And you also told me, said, well, he's accountable for how she behaves. I said, well, there should not be domestic violence in the relationship. You said, well, he's partially accountable. I said, yes, but she has admitted that her parents taught her not to do this. I said, so where's the accountability for her? See, I'm not going to be easy on you, because I understand that too many women want to blame the other woman whom he is married to, as well as they want to blame the guy's parents. They want to blame everybody except looking in that mirror. You need to look in the mirror just like I had to look in the mirror, and as long as we are allowing things to happen in our lives and we're not seeking out therapy or counseling, then we have to be accountable for parts of our experiences in life. Listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And we'll be right back with Candid Conversations in the real Dr. Rich, Pastor R. It is Sunday, April 24th, and we are in the house. Let's continue the discussion. We're going to be reading your comments, and we're going to be responding. We will respond, but we thank you. Peace. The real Dr. Rich.
Let's have a candid conversation. It's all about me and you. Let's have a candid conversation. No topic is taboo.
Let's have a candid conversation. Talk about the issues that you're facing and the dreams that you're chasing. Dr. Rich got the tools to help you make it. We can talk about it. Let's have a candid conversation.
Let's have a candid conversation. It's all about me and you.
Hi, I'm Leah Camille Richardson. Did you know that Jesus, Yeshua, is the light? I would like to share a scripture with you. John chapter 12, verse 35 through 37 says that then Jesus said unto them, Yet a little while is the light with you. While ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. While ye have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light. These things spake Jesus, and departed, and did hide himself from them. But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him. That the saying of Elias the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spake, Lord, who hath believed on our report, and to whom hath the arm of the Lord been revealed?
Hello, this is Ministry Moments with Pastor Richardson. Hey, I would like to encourage you guys on today to study your words, study the Bible to find out key answers to your life, key answers to situations that you may be going through or experiencing in your life. And it's good to just study to know scripture so you can share with your loved ones, family members, and especially when you're out in the marketplace, living a life before people, walking in holiness and representing Yeshua HaMashiach, because he is our Redeemer. He is our Savior. Did you know that Yeshua means Jesus? Did you know Hamashiach means the anointed one? When you study, you will find power in your words. You will find power in your life. You will truly tap into those gifts, and those areas of your anointing will allow you to flourish and to flow in those gifts. Always remember to study your word, because if you will go to the scripture, 2 Timothy 2:15, it reads this: Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. I pray that this word will bless you. And for those of you who may be interested in joining our Bible study groups, we are meeting every Saturday at 5 p.m. And the address is 3473 Poplar Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee, 38111. Everyone is welcome. We would love to see you. And have a wonderful, wonderful day. Shalom.
Let's have a candid conversation. It's all about me and you. Let's have a candid conversation. No topic is taboo.
Let's have a candid conversation. Talk about the issues that you're facing and the dreams that you're chasing. Dr. Rich got the tools to help you make it. We can talk about it. Let's have a candid conversation.
Welcome back to Candid Conversations with the real Dr. Rich. Listen, we're discussing you have his children, you have his kids, but I have his name. Yeah, I should have called this segment Bitter Baby Mamas, because I am absolutely, sadly enough, meeting many women who are bitter and frustrated because they've become mothers to a man's child or children to whom the man has no allegiance or really no commitment, and they're very angry.
That's
As
right.
you said, they're very bitter.
Yeah.
They're very frustrated.
Scorned.
And they're scorned. Nothing like a woman scorned.
Yeah.
The actual maxim is, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Right.
I mean, and what that literally means is, hell is, terrible. But compared to a woman who was been scorned by an individual, they're not even to be compared, because a woman's fury after she's been scorned is much, much more severe than hell itself.
Right.
And so, listen, we're having the conversation. It's a taboo topic. I mean, I don't think a lot of parents are speaking with their, I didn't say most, I said a lot of parents are not having this conversation, because what I'm finding too is that mothers are scorned. Mothers are scorned because they're not with their child's father. And then their children begin reproducing, and they're passing on this same type of dysfunction.
Right.
They're angry because they don't have the men. Listen, I've been in relationships, and people will look and say, well, everybody's has had some type of pain in their lives and this and that. But the thing about it is, it's about choices.
Yeah, it's about growing. It's about growing up,
maturing.
Too. I mean, once you lay down with a man, or when a man lay down with a woman, they have to always have in the front of their mind that there's a possibility that we can produce a baby tonight. And once you cross that threshold of laying down with the man, I mean, you're going to have to be a woman right then. It's time to grow up. You're just like your mom and dad and the people around you who has accepted the responsibility, of a family. And, all these games and going to bed, going out, getting your drink on, going out to the club, you coming back to the house, y'all shacking and playing husband and wife. Man, you got to realize that once you start sleeping with a person, it's time for you to grow up. It's time for you to man up and be responsible for that woman. And that woman needs to start being responsible for that man, because that's why a lot of people, they live in irresponsible lives. They feeling like they can do anything, and a lot of hurt. And then the innocent one, the one that marries this man, she's going to get all the abuse and all of the attacks and all of the false accusations.
What about the children?
Yeah, the children are going to end up being in the mix, and they're going to be totally dysfunctional. And that also can lead to what you're talking about.
Let me say this. Listen. When we have bitter spirits, women, and listen, I'm not going to get preachy tonight, but like Chris Brown says,
damaging,
or like Drizzy says, listen, I'm just going to tell you, it damages our children, because then they become bitter and frustrated towards the wife for no reason. There's too much bitterness, too much anger, too much animosity. And my husband is talking a lot to the men, but I'm here today to talk to the women. Grow up, or keep your legs closed, or get you some birth control. Because when you go on a rant and an attack of the wife or the grandparents, it serves the children no purpose.
Right.
I mean, you're bad mouthing the parents for what you and this other individual have done. You all have decided. I don't think anybody came together and said, Mom, Dad, we're going to start having sex together. Right. Now you didn't consult the parents in the beginning.
They should.
This is my point, though. They're not consulting the parents, but then after all the trouble starts, after they've been grown enough to have sex and bring children in, then they want to bring the parents in.
Right. No, the parents should come in first so you can get some kind of guidance.
Right. I mean, why aren't you talking to the parents?
They think it's not natural, but it is. It's the
Why aren't you talking to the parents? Why aren't you trying to see what's going on, with, the relationship? Why aren't you trying to see, what the family dynamics are? You're too ready to smash. You're so interested in smashing, and it's so good. It's the best, as in John Legend said, the best you've ever had. And so now you want to try to manipulate things. And I think sometimes women have children with men intentionally. Yeah. I think they do. Sometimes it's because of, what they've heard or what they think they see as, this is a potential, source of money. That's not uncommon. We've seen it. It happens mostly in the celebrity world with athletes and those celebrities who are in film and things like that. But it happens in the real world. And what you have to realize is, whether those people are together or not, they have a different type of lifestyle where they can support their children. And see, a lot of times we want to get angry because men aren't stepping up. But like I said, I know the experience. A lot of times men aren't going to step up. All they're looking for is a good time when they smash. They want to hit it and quit it. And if we allow them to continue to come to our quote unquote bed chamber, they're going to do it.
If she don't have any guidelines set in place, he's going to do it. But if she's a real woman who's going to confront him and to make him accountable, we have very few women like that. But there are some women out there who's in a situation, and sometimes she's wise enough and clever enough to make him choose her over this woman that he feels that has come into his life and stole his heart. But you got to be wise and you have to be worth it. If a man feel like you're worth it, he will pass on another woman for you, but he has to know that you're worth it. You cannot be immature and attacking this woman that he has just met, going all out to restaurants, flipping over food and tables and all of that stuff because you may be now pregnant and about to conceive, or you probably
about to birth because she's already conceived. You said she's pregnant.
You're always about to give birth to this child, or you may have already had these children and now you want to run him down, chase him and fight him and cause all kind of confusion for this man. That's going to continue to push him over there to this other woman. Stop that. Just be wise, be strong, show him that, what they call them, that you're a boss chick, and move on about your business. If you don't want me, you want to just move on. I'm going to do my thing. You do yours. Bam. I'm going to make it with or without you. Be real about it.
And I'm going to say, don't make the same.
Be a boss chick.
I'm not going to say don't make the same mistake, because as my husband has often said, the children are mistakes. But what I will say is, don't make the same choices next time. Stop getting in the bedroom smashing guys, or the same guy having more children and not having a commitment from him. A child does not mean commitment. Heck, some of these guys don't even take care of their children. And then for us to attack men. We know what our situation was when we met. But I'd be doggone. I didn't badmouth. My kid's dad. I didn't badmouth.
Never.
I didn't do that. And see, y'all can look, but he'll tell you. It'll show up. I don't have to prove a thing. My point is,
serious.
That's my stand. I did what I had to do, and I was accountable. I stepped up and I looked at myself and I said, I deserve better. I said that. Diamonds, you deserve better, because that was my maiden name.
You have to know you're a winner. You knew you was a winner.
I did.
And once you saw the ability and the power of God in your life, you knew that God wasn't going to withhold any good thing from you.
Wow, say that scripture. Say it.
You push forward into your faith. You push forward. Even though these guys had other women, they had moved on, and you wasn't stuck, because you took the responsibility. You accepted the responsibility of these children that God gave you, and you did not cause anybody no problems. Since I've been married to you, I have never seen you give anybody any problems concerning even financials, things that's concerning them financially, health insurance, any of that.
But if you honest,
no money, no extra money,
even it's been brought to your attention by, no, she hadn't been a problem. It's been said to you.
And one reason why I don't think you was going through that, because you wasn't continuing to allow these men to come into your bedchamber and to do what they feel like they wanted to do, and to continue to lie to you, continue to mistreat you, because that's another form of mistreatment. When a man is sleeping with you and promising you things, and I'm telling you, it had to be God to show you that these Negroes was lying to you, and they were not sincere about.
I don't even do this on my show. I'm getting so amped.
Some women, they put themselves in this position.
That's what I'm saying.
But be a winner, be a boss chick, walk over that mess, man, kick it under the roof.
And let me say this. This is a word of encouragement. If you can't do it right now, seek therapy. My way was through the friendships that I had made, my friendships, and not only my friendships, but also my belief in the word of God.
Right.
You know, my mindset had to change. So I'm just wondering, I want to ask you women in the comment section, you know, why are you still holding on to a dream that you know is really a nightmare? And it's not a beautiful nightmare. He doesn't want you. He is uninterested in you. His mindset has not changed toward you, but you're still holding on to hope, missing out on a guy who would potentially, let me say this though, let me put this disclaimer. I think you should take a break. I don't think you should have out of one relationship where you've been broken or just traumatized, which I don't think the trauma started with the man. I think it may have started in your childhood, and there was some, because when we have healthy mindsets, because I told you, Pastor R, you know, I've said this to you. I said I was a broken woman. That's why I could date the men that I dated. Those 2 serious relationships, I told you. I said I was broken. I admitted that to you.
Right.
I said that's the only way.
You said it on platforms.
But I'm talking about before I had platforms. I shared that with you as my protector, as my covering, as my husband. Yeah. See, when you're a broken individual, when you're a broken woman, you will acquiesce, or you will accept and tolerate certain behaviors that you know aren't right. Who wants to be in a relationship where you're arguing like cats and dogs, except when you're smashing? Who does that? Because you can't smash all day. I don't want to be in a relationship where we have nothing in common. We have nothing to talk about. And then you're out here dating other women, potentially trying to see a wife, trying to look for you a wife. And I know I'm not her. I know, because you're out here in the dating pool. Right. You're going to find someone. Then I'm upset.
This is tough.
Then I'm upset because you have another woman, but I have your child. Listen, women, it's time to seek help. There's therapy out here. There are counselors out here. I am one. I may not be the one for you, but I can do referrals. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yes, I have a degree and certification, you know, as a Christian counselor. Yes, my bachelor's and my associate, it's in education. Those are that's education. I have a bachelor's, you know, in Bachelor of Arts in education. But I have another master's. I have 2 masters, and one of those masters is in curriculum and instruction. And the other one is at a different school. I received another master's in Christian counseling. So, you know, listen, I don't go just off of my experiences, because I know we don't all have the same experiences. But I can tell you, there are too many bitter women. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to go into this. I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole. There's also mental health issues that need to be addressed because of trauma. Yeah. You know, and I'm not going to put all that blame. I'm not going to put that blame. I'm not going to put that blame on the man solely, because I believe before you met this man, many of us have already experienced certain traumas from our own families. Right. And then when we meet these men, we want to put all that blame because, you know, like I say, our standards are a certain way. And then, like I said, we want to drag the family members in it. We want to talk about what I read a post the other day that said something about, you know, does your baby daddy family help with your child or your children? And they were like, heck no. They didn't say heck, but they were like, hell no, they don't help. But that's really not the grandparents' responsibility. You and that man. See, that's what I'm saying. We lie down with these men. But one thing that this woman did,
the dysfunction.
Right. One thing that this particular woman did say, she did say this, and I was just thankful. I'm just bringing it up a certain way because what her response was like, no, and see, that's a healthy mindset. You know, that's a healthy mindset. She wasn't the one who asked the question. It was a post that she shared from someone else. But she was like, heck no, but I got this. She's what you would call a boss chick. Like you say, I say that. So yeah, be a boss chick. And I'm not just talking about with coins, getting your coins, but are you intentional about being present for your children? Even when the daddy can't, or when he refuses to be, maybe
show up and be on time in your life.
Maybe he chooses not to be there for his child or his children. Right. We know relatives who have multiple children. There's no way that you can father numerous children in different households and show up for them. Right. I mean, it's just impossible. It's impossible. But are you, we're too worried.
Need that intimacy.
Too worried about what he's doing and what he's not doing. What are we doing as mothers since we made the decision to smash with this guy and to produce children and offspring? What are we choosing to do? And to put that burden or that expectation on the grandparents. I think we're way off as women. I didn't put that expectation off on your mom, my mother-in-law, or my own parents.
We didn't have those kind of we didn't have that kind of mindset. We felt like,
so I'm saying that unhealthy mindset,
because we knew there wasn't going to be children forever.
Right.
So just a little time out of our life, what, 10 or 15 years, or maybe another 5 or 6 years, maybe. And I believe you just want to give your girls each one of them, some of you during that time in your life. You allocated so many years to each one of your girls. You gave them so many years of your life to each one of your daughters. You committed each season of their lives. You gave so much time.
Even my daughters that I didn't birth.
Yeah, to make sure that they got that feminine touch, that woman touch, that mother, that guidance, that leadership touch. So a lot of women have so much to do with their daughters, because a lot of them have daughters. So they're going to have to be there and show up in their lives to know, grow, and show, so they can teach their children as well as the young boys. If the dad is not there 100%, the mother may have to give 200% or 150% of herself to this situation, because she wants to save her children. She wants to save her daughters, because she don't want her daughters to go out here and to be used and sex trafficked by men, or to be victims of domestic violence, or things like that, or to be killed, or to be, addicted to drugs, or to just fall in the line of the vagabond. So they have a lot of work to do. Don't fight this man's wife because he asked her for her hand. So don't even attack him. Be a boss chick. Move on with your life. Know what your worth, and know your worth, and look, display your worth. Walk in what you're worth. Don't just say I'm a boss chick and you ain't doing nothing. You just
producing.
Looking like you kick to the side. You're not producing. You're not showing up in your own life. Show up and be on time for yourself, and be strong within your reach as being great.
And another thing I wanted to say, and if you're not his only baby mama, maybe you are. You may be the woman who has, his own. Because even I can speak on this. I love my dad. My dad had me while he was in high school. He was a senior in high school. And when I was 2 years old, he married the love of his life. And they had 2 children, 2 sons. So my point is, he went on to marry a woman who was not my mom. And, that was his right to do that. But when we have bitterness because of our expectations, and we want to say mean-spirited things about the dad, then, it's only hurting us and our children, because it shows that we're bitter. Why can't you move on? It's been 6 months and all he's doing is smashing. He's not even told you that, I want to marry you. And even if he is telling you that, are you holding him accountable? What are you doing? Are you all in counseling? What is he showing you to prove or demonstrate that he is serious about you, so that you don't go around here attacking other women, feeling like he has to answer to you, or you want to be so aggressive and angry, you want to put your hands on him. You have no right to put your hands on somebody.
No.
You don't have a right. Well, I'm his baby. Okay, you're a baby mama. That's all you are. You don't have any benefits associated with him. The children may have benefits. The children may, but you definitely don't. And if you're mad, stay mad.
And see, wait a
minute, Pastor. Let me say this again. Stay mad. Look in the mirror and be accountable, and become mad at yourself. If you're mad at me because I'm the messenger, it's no skin off my nose. You don't pay any bills. But what are you doing? I'm trying to help, because the reality is this: you got into a relationship based off of obsession. You talk about it, infatuation, obsession, then attraction, and all of that, without even
sexual lust and
all of that, without even doing, without even vetting, the guy. It was just pure lust or something, what they call energy or vibes,
or misled by a friend.
And anyway, if he never
fine, she fine,
right. And even if he did tell you, you were his, let's be faithful to one another, are you still going to hold yourself accountable for believing it, especially after he shows you that he's not committed to you?
Right.
And really, to be honest, again, this is to pivot off of last week. I spoke about, if you don't speak to my husband, if you don't speak to me, don't speak to my husband, which I am totally against. If you don't clap for me, don't clap for my husband, or if you don't clap for my husband, don't clap for me. I mean, you can clap for him all day, even if you hate me, because you know what? At the end of the day, we're one. I'm not insecure in our relationship, Pastor R.
Right. Well,
I'm not insecure. So, you're an adult man. You know who you have a covenant with. And, I'm not saying other people are insecure, but I don't put those type of restrictions on you.
right.
I mean, but I will let you know if this woman is mistreating me. If I feel that she's, mean spirited towards me, I will bring it to your attention, but I'm not going to sit up and say, don't talk to her.
Right.
That's not who I am. I can't even feel comfortable doing that. I can't even feel that. So, if you want to clap for him and don't want to clap for me, even when you clapping for him, guess what, Pooh? You clapping for me because we what, babe?
We won.
We're one.
And
so you can clap for him all day, Pooh, and he's still my husband. And so a clap for him is still a clap for me. That's just that on that, Pooh.
Well, I said it on social media today. A lot of women may say there aren't any good men out there, but that's not true. There are a lot of good men out there, but men are really looking for a woman who will respect him and who could help him with his dreams. And see,
so I did that for you.
So this is deep.
I'm
right
asking.
Here. This is deep. Right
hey,
here.
This is Candid Conversations.
I'm gonna ask you a question just a sec. See, this is deep right here, because if you're listening to other women, if this is the kind of counsel you have around you, you have the wrong company.
Mac.
And if you are a man, and if you always hearing brothers say all women are whores, or no women are worthy to be wives, that's a lot. A lot of women are ready to marry, but they need some alignment. They need some adjustments as well as you. And once you come together, bringing two worlds together, that's when you're going to have to come together as a team and to not play a game, but to be serious about life, to be serious about life endeavors. And you have to ask this man before you go to bed with him, what is your plans? I mean, what do you want with me? I mean, why are you attracted to me?
Right.
And, if you just want to smash, get to that point. Don't just let him get by you. Don't just allow him to say anything to you. Get to the point. Are you looking for a wife? And just don't say, well, I'm just going to settle with him. This is something I want to do. I'm just going to have to fulfill a craving or get, into it and indulge with this sin that's worrying within my spirit. I'm burning, in passion. So I want to just satisfy this craving. And then next thing you know, you end up in a situation that's going to take your life in a whole different direction. And all you're going to do now is invite dysfunction into his life, and it's going to be unhealthy. And if you're not healthy spiritually, you're going to be unhealthy naturally. So it's going to take a balance. So just realize that if you're in a situation, you put yourself there. See, the Holy Spirit can bring you out of it. God will give you a way of escape if you allow it. He said, flee from sin, run away from it. So you have to fight to keep your life. You have to, grow, know, and show. You have to grow. You have to learn, and then you have to show up in your own life. Represent yourself. Don't allow a woman to see you act stupid. She already feeling that you're angry and upset anyway because how you're communicating with her. Communicate with the lady healthy, so you all can raise these children, give them something to hold on to as they travel through life, because these children are going to need a healthy example, a healthy role model. And your daughters, you need to just show up and tell them the truth. Don't be going around here allowing these men to lie down with you without a commitment or without some kind of goal or plan or strategy, because if you get pregnant, you're on your own.
Wow.
It's tough stuff out here. You got to be a big girl. This is
not child's play.
No, it's not child's play. This is grown up business. And so if you're not ready to be grown, stop playing these games. Tell them, listen, I'm not ready for this. I mean, why are you interested in me? What do you want? You have to ask him. Yeah, we have a few more minutes here on this live. Dr. Richard's going to wrap this thing up, and I'm telling you, if you're not learning something today, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, she's coming on with so many great topics, and sometimes these topics may offend you. And if she hits you, she don't mean to miss you, but she don't mean to destroy you. But she's trying to give you some things to pull you, to pull this out of you so you can see yourself in real time, because right now a lot of women in slow motion, they just moving slow, they don't know what they're doing, and they base everything on a feeling. Sexual intercourse lasts no more than 3 minutes to 5 minutes, and bam, and then you're done. It's just this smash and stuff, it's not worth the pain.
Right.
It's not worth you throwing your children away. It's not worth living in poverty. It's not. I mean, I know women who've had 5 children, 4 children, 2 children, about the same person or different people, and these people's lives are turned upside down. It's sad. It's sad.
So here's what I want to say as well, Pastor R. Listen, I love women. I love you because I am one, and I despise the brokenness that the enemy and life experiences try to place upon us. That jacket is not a good jacket. It's very uncomfortable. And it does something to the psyche. So what I'm saying is just trying to get us to look within ourselves, to get that fixed, to get that healed.
Be strong.
So that we don't continue to the cycle. But I really have a huge pet peeve of us entering into situations and then blaming other people. Right. Like I said, I can't get over the expectations, grandparents, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and all of this. I mean, where's the accountability for the man who you were smashing? Where's it? And if he is unable or unwilling to check in, it goes on you. That's right. It's on you. It's on you because you were a part of the agreement. That's right. You were a part of the.
You approved it.
You approved it, right? You willingly went to the bedroom and you continued to do this. So we love to have people in our circle who will tell us what we want to hear. He's a bad. And one thing that you despise, you detest, is putting family business on social media. Right. Social media has made it so easy. I mean, pick up a phone. Right. Get a mediator. Go to family therapy. Therapy.
Don't
go to family therapy. We're
family business on social media.
Right. I mean, we've done this.
Keep it personal.
I mean, when we were in the building for all of those years prior to the building being turned into a more lucrative business. You understand? I mean, I don't want to put it out here, but it was turned into a more lucrative business where, the government could, fund this building for what they're using it for now. We were in there 7 or 8 years. And all that time we were there as counselors, not only as pastors, but we went through the training, and a lot of things we did, pro bono.
We ministered in love, and a lot of people received, and a lot of people didn't. Some people just set in their ways.
But we have to make a conscious decision to heal. It's a choice, just like it was a choice to lie. Now, so I'm saying, if you know that you're a broken woman, one of the women, or a very malicious or scorned woman, as my husband is saying, then please, we should want the best for our children, and the best is not us not being able to handle our emotions. Right. It's not ideal for us not to be able to deal with our emotions, where we can actively co-parent, even though that was not Yahweh's best. That was not his best for us to co-parent. He designed marriage. And when we take a chance on being intimate with people and reproducing, procreation, then we do ourselves a disservice. I know about it.
He was willing to allow him in, the Messiah.
Right.
And I was willing. Right. Like if people are willing to let him in, there's a possibility that these people can be healthy. That's a possibility.
But that's when we make a decision that we want to invite him in, to welcome him.
Trust him.
And yes,
no matter how hard it gets.
Healing is imperative, but don't be a bitter baby mama.
No.
Don't be a bitter baby mama. Yes, you have his children. but she has his last name, and we would do ourselves well if we're really about our children's best interest. We would not have issues with one another. We would not seek to cause problems for a woman because
you want to be a blessing.
Yeah, and I've heard women say, "Well, he never
even though he's married to
he never took me on trips. He never did this for me." I mean, even on that show where Fatima is on this particular show, you all know the name Fatima. He's choosing to, even though he didn't procreate with the other woman, they were in a very toxic relationship, and now he's met this woman. He told her, he said, she just came out and told him, "I want you back." He was like, "Well, it's too late. I feel good with this woman. This woman helps me to, she sees," and you said for so long, there's only one perfect rib for a man. One. And this woman is the one who will bring out the best in this man. I don't complete you.
Right.
I don't complete you. Let me get that right. My dad used to correct me. I don't complete you. I compliment you. This has been Dr. Rich with Candid Conversations. Join us back here next Sunday. Until then, peace.
It's all about me. Let's have a candid conversation. It's all about me and you. Let's have a candid conversation. No topic is taboo.
Now, are you got condition on your love for me? Or you gonna just let me do what I want to do?
Yeah, I'm what dude call a man.
Let's have a candid conversation. No topic is taboo. When I talk to you, it's all about me and you. Let's have a candid conversation. No topic is taboo.